Well, I was starting to get worried that these things weren't going to show up. They said they were delivered on Thursday, and here it is Saturday afternoon, and they finally showed up here. But what may you ask am I doing with this guy here? This is the TS191 Gulper. Well, this is the one in D2 that's fairly new. Yeah, just a little bit of a backspacer there. I have recently come into the original version here. Looks mostly the same, but yeah, that back has that two-piece clam kind of production to it. But basically everything else is the same as far as the blade stock and all that stuff. This guy is S90V rather than D2. This one does seem like a much more budget-friendly way for them to manufacture it. So yeah, and what does all of this back stuff over here actually add to the overall weight? It's about 0.2 of an ounce, so not a whole lot. I do really like these style a little bit more, but yeah, I do understand that it takes thicker pieces of titanium to mill out to actually get that there. But hey, this is what I'm going to use for my my unboxing. So here we go. I got a 1, a 2, and 3. Alright, I don't know what is what. Start with this one. It feels maybe like it's the lightest. Ooh, okay, this is a Jelly Jerry. Little top flipper action here. Yeah, TS343 and D2. I love the style of a G10. I have just recently seen another company or two start to use it. But yeah, I really do like it. It's got some nice colors in there, orange and white and blue and red. Yeah, I am liking this design. Of course, it's a subframe lock here, as you can see. We got it is titanium underneath there. Pocket clip seems all nice. We got a little bit of milling going on for that. Where is there it is. My little ruler here. So yeah, just shy of 3.5 inches. So this is not a small boy. But yeah, this is a really, really great design. The jimping goes all the way out, absolutely everywhere that I would want that. I have a pretty nice kind of overgrind there, so you can choke up quite a bit without worrying about that coming up on you. Nice and lightweight. We don't have... Oh, we do have a bit of skeletonization going on. Just a little tiny bit underneath the pocket clip here. And, yep, and just a little bit more on the show side. That does make it nice and light and nimble. But, yeah, I would definitely call that a subframe lock. You don't have external lock bar access on this guy in particular, but it's got the scallops there. You just can't get to it really easily being too far down. But as long as you're over there, yeah, perfectly fine. I'm not the best at doing those. Nah, it's not quite a top flipper for me. Some others may be a little bit better at a reach around. You know, whatever they do in their spare time is definitely up to them. So, yeah, this is a phenomenal design. When I first saw it, I was pretty excited, and yeah, I'm still happy for it. We got several grooves going on the G10 there, but yep, nice and smooth. The pocket or the pocket clip doesn't sit inside a groove necessarily; it sits on top of them, so it should be relatively easy to get in and out of there. And the blade is pretty much protected from you on the inside there. So, great. Great first showing there. Let's see, what's the next one we got here? Aha, this is a button lock from Mr. Wang Denjin. There we go. This guy's in D2, so he's a little covered in their protective grease, whatever it might be that they end up using here. Yeah, this one's nice too. It's a straight back. We don't really have a drop going on at all. And very, very generous with the finger choil sort of area there. And yeah, that feels really good to choke up on too. You know, the jumping is still enough for that, for you to get in there and do some detailed work with it. Button seems to work all right. It's not really recessed. I haven't seen too many, well, I haven't seen any TwoSuns that are actually recessed as far as the button deployment goes. But I also haven't had any trouble with any of them either. This has got some thick boy titanium handles here. We have some pockets carved out on the inside here, so that does reduce the weight a little bit, but it still is quite weighty. Stonewash on this guy here. It's in D2, but that's perfectly fine. Their D2 seems to work quite well. Seems to outlast pretty much all the other companies' D2 that I've ended up doing similar tests to. And, well, this looks like a titanium clip. I honestly don't know if it's a milled titanium clip or if it's just a little bit more of a stamped version of one. It's kind of interesting. I do, actually, curious to see if it's actually on or in a little pocket. Hey, it's in a little pocket. And, of course, it's asymmetrical, so fantastic. I would be a little sad if it was just sitting on top and had a single screw. But, hey, Wong definitely knows better than to do that. But, yeah, this is a really nice, big old chunky button lock. But I'm sure probably quite a few people aren't going to like it because, well, the blade sharpened area starts here. So you are losing quite a bit to that overgrind sharpening choil there. But I absolutely appreciate it because it's actually big enough for me to feel safe with it. So that's quite neat. All right, and I think at this point, this last one here is going to be one from Cody Brown. Yes, yes it is. And not just because the G10 is tan brownish. But, yeah, there we go. We got ourselves another Tonto. Interesting with the fuller with the holes in there. Yeah, this is the TS173. Yet again, even though this is a low number, this is the second knife that was designed by him, that was put out from TwoSun here. The first one, if you're not familiar, let's see, I can grab that one out. Aha, there we are. Was this guy that I wasn't particularly fond of. This this is a very different take on a recurve Tonto here. But yeah, a lot of which I pointed out didn't really like. I don't particularly like the exposed liners down here. And this one seems to have that a little bit, but they're a bit rounded. And of course, this corner back here is also rounded on this one. Because of the way the handle is shaped, it's, to me, relatively reminiscent of a swayback, actually. It's got that nice, comfortable belly in the handle for it, though. So that's nice. Still, this area up here, not the absolute most comfortable in the saber grip position, but this is really, really comfortable if I wanted to grab it a bit more in that pinch grip style that I like quite a bit. That might pose a little bit of a problem if you are doing some poking with it, but you would have to kind of modify that to have it go into your palm. Doesn't really feel uncomfortable to me. So yeah, I do definitely like this design quite a bit more than his other one there. Action seems alright on it. This is of course in D2 as well. As well, it's definitely more of a budget option, which is the other one as well. This one's G10. It's essentially 10 G10, and then we have black G10 slabs underneath it, which I wasn't quite familiar with. That's why this one that I opened up first, I thought was this one, because this one looks quite a bit lighter in the pictures on it. And that mostly has to do with the fact that I thought this was some tan G10 on top of some, black steel liners, which there are black steel liners, but there's G10 underneath that. And as you can see, it's not exactly thin either. So, what kind of handle width are we talking about here? 15.3 or 15.4, somewhere right around there. So yeah, 0.6 of an inch. So a little bit thicker than I thought it was. That's okay. Really good detent action going on this guy here. We do have a little bit of a lock bar access on it, so that's good. We don't really have any scallops going on at the liner, but hey, you got the access there. Seems to work out quite well. A little interesting that the blade doesn't actually match the curve of the handle there. I guess a lot of designers end up trying to do that as much as possible. The bump here is actually just slightly proud of it. So yeah, it doesn't really look like that was a consideration on the design at all. Not a good or a bad thing, just kind of noticing what it is. Obviously, with that fuller there, we have a high saber grind going on this guy here. And it's a little bit more of a harder use edge or geometry going on here. It's a little thicker behind the edge than some of the other super slicey ones. But hey, that sharpening choil is great because it ends basically right around here. You got a ton to be able to sharpen away if you absolutely need to over the life of the knife. So that's good. And this has their stamped clip. But it seems to stay out of my way. So, yeah, I don't really have any problems with that clip on this guy here. And it's not quite crowned, but definitely very much rounded at the top here. So, nice and soft, but you definitely would not be able to strike a fire steel with the back of this thing if you really wanted to. Generally, if you're in those situations, hey, you probably aren't having a folder as your main blade there, but what are you going to do? So yes, this guy here, the 152 is called. They do have another variant of it that's come out after I ordered this one. It's the same. The titanium has just basically been very highly polished, and they've done a particular type of titanium anodization going on there. It's the one, looks to me, it's the one where you actually heat them up to a particular point where the metal is actually starting to glow or whatever, and you quench it in some ferric chloride or something along those lines. I think I've seen OCD for EDC do that before, and I've wanted to try it, but I just haven't really gotten off my ass to pick up some propane tank torches or anything like that I would need for it. But yeah, otherwise it's the same. But this does have that bead blast kind of texture to it. This is very reminiscent of the titanium finish that Spyderco and Chris Reeve knives ends up using. So yeah, this will definitely attract snail trails over time. Some people like that, some people don't. To each their own. The absolute tip of this guy actually is probably just a little tiny bit closer to the top than I would appreciate, but yeah, definitely not as egregious as some of them out there. But yeah, as you can see, I can get my finger in there. So if you're not paying attention when you're sliding your hand in your pocket, or if you're trying to pick this up after you've, I don't know, dropped it under the couch, which is in the case of the original one from Jelly Jerry that ended up biting me in that particular fashion, then yeah, that might be a little bit of a problem. But yeah, really do like these particular thumb studs. They make me happy. They got knurling exactly where it's needed, and they're not gigantic. And because of this large choil here, they're nowhere in the area of the actual sharpened blade path. So that's not going to get in your way as you're doing your cuts here. It's got a lot of that belly there, so you can probably get quite a bit of a downward force out of that guy. Quite neat. And I think this is one of Wong's first button locks. So it's quite interesting. I still think, for me, the star of the show here is probably this guy here, the Jelly Jerry, the TS343. It just, yeah. It's a nice gentleman's kind of carry there, even though this is a titanium. And it does actually look like it's anodized bronze, I guess. Yeah. You can definitely see the color difference there between the raw titanium. So yeah, we got some bronze titanium liners / subframe going on there with the with that attractive topographical style of G10. It's got a nice down cant to the blade, so that will help you kind of lean into cuts and stuff like that. This one seems absolutely fantastic. Yeah, really happy with that. Obviously fits my large-ass hands quite well. I have enough if I really want to link over on a little backside there, which is comfortable, but that does take me far away from the blade there, but really easy to end up choking up and not having any problems whatsoever. Sharpening a choil on this guy here, / finger choil, I guess, does all right. It basically, because this has a very, very gradual plunge grind, ends basically right at that. But seems to be rather thin there as well, so you probably won't run into developing a smile on this little sucker here. Yeah, I'm liking this guy a lot. So hooray! I'm definitely glad that I got these guys here. Let's see, I can pull out a few knives here for some blade size comparisons for them. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll open all these guys up. Interesting that they all have different opening mechanisms. We get a front flipper, thumb stud / button lock, and a just standard flipper there. Yeah, as you can see, we got similar dimensions as far as handle and blade goes on this guy in particular, but we do have a little bit more sharpened edge going on there. Let's see. Let's go to the Benchmade bug out. I would pull out the 940, but currently Benchmade has it, replacing the blade and giving it the spa treatment. Let's see, we got the Kalashnikov 74. How about the Spyderco Endura? That's probably appropriate for most of these guys here. Yep, certainly seems that way to me. All right. So yeah, these guys are pretty neat. I think all of them are in D2. Yeah, they are. Which, hey, I can kind of understand that. It's still kind of in that phase where they've shied away from 14C28N just a little bit due to how easily scratchable it is in production and also in shipping and stuff like that. Yeah, this thing is super, super slicey. Yeah, I like that guy. Okay. But, yeah, like I said, their D2 seems to hold up a bit better than just about all the rest of it that I've tried. I haven't, however, tried the D2 that Benchmade ended up using many, many years ago with... oh, shoot. Now I'm blanking on it. It's probably in the 700 series, because I think it might have been a McHenry and Williams. But I don't know. Yeah, Benchmade used D2 tool steel as kind of a strange flagship sort of thing. Long time ago. It kind of came out alongside some of their S30V models when they first started using that stuff. But yeah. All right. Well, this was, I guess, longer than I expected it to be. But hey, what can you say? I'm doing first impressions. I'm not just opening it and going, ooh, look at the shinies. So, all right. I appreciate y'all for watching. And have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo.